Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Terry, and this is the Yarn Joy podcast, episode number 8. Thank you so much for coming back to see what I've been doing today, and welcome to my new subscribers and new viewers. Today I have some finished objects, I have some works in progress, I also have one acquisition, and I have some tips, and I also have a couple of shout outs. So let's begin. This week, all I got done for my finished objects were some small projects. Things I like to do, since I'm working on some larger ones, I like to do a little small projects here and there that I can finish quickly, kind of like a palette cleanser, I guess you'd say. So I'm still working on using up scraps of yarn that I have. And so I made some Christmas ornaments. My first one is a toy soldier. I thought he turned out really cute. Still working on doing faces for my amigurumi projects. Still working and practicing on that. But I thought he turned out cute. And my next one that I worked on is a little minion. Thought he turned out super cute as well. So what I did with this one is I found a new technique to do the eyes on amigurumi type projects, stuffed animals. Another option, and I believe I found it on YouTube. Somebody was doing a video on how to do eyes, and I thought it would be very something that I would like to try. It'd be easy. So what I did is you take in this case I took the black yarn, and you just take it and tie it into a knot in the center, and you just keep wrapping it around before you're pulling it to tie those, just the regular knot, and then you thread it through both ends of the yarn, and so the knot is like in the middle, and so that makes the little eye stand out, and it works out pretty well. I'm definitely going to use that way of doing eyes in the future. Okay, and let's see. Another finished object I did was this cardinal. I thought they turned out really cute. It probably would have been better. I just used the yarn knot idea for the eyes, as you can see. I think it probably would have turned out a little bit better if I would have had safety eyes to put in there, but I didn't have the right size. The only ones I have are larger, and this one, I think it called for maybe a 6mm maybe safety eye, and I don't have that, but I think it would have been really cute because that way the eyes would have been shiny, you know, and you could kind of maybe see the eyes better. All these projects here that I just showed you are on Ravelry. There's links to where you go to get the pattern. And each one of those just took me a few hours working on it, you know, just off and on to do it. And my last finished object that I have is a tutorial from Happy Berry Crochet on YouTube, and it is a little gnome. This was super fun to make. So cute. Look at his beard. He just kind of curls up there. I think he turned out really cute. Really cute. And he will sit up. The only thing I did different is that her project, the bottom was open, kind of like a cone shape type thing, and I went ahead and finished stuffing it. Well, hers was stuffed toward the top, but I went ahead and finished stuffing it, and then I just made a circle because the diameter here of this circle I knew had to be 18 stitches, and so I just took this dark blue color, the darker blue color, and made a circle that matched the stitches and just closed it up because I thought it was better if it would be closed up at the bottom, so I did that. Very fun, very cute to make. Okay, so that's all my finished objects. My works in progress are still some items that I've been showing you along that I'm still working on. The first one is from the book that I picked up at Michael's several years ago. It's from Loops and Threads, called Baby Blocks is the book. And the blanket I've showed you in the other video, but I'll show you again. is the patchwork puzzle blanket, I believe it's called. It's that one. I'm doing it just like that one, except for where it has the dark blue, I'm using yellow. Okay, and I've started putting the squares together now, so that way it'd be easier to show you, because then I can hold it up. And I'm getting pretty far along on it. I think it's turning out really cute. So there it is. It's got different squares, and you stitch them together like this would be connected to that one. And I have somebody to give it to, so I'm glad that I've started working on it, because there is somebody in our church that is going to be due and having a little boy in just a few weeks, and so I want to rush and get this done so then I can go ahead and give it to her as a gift. Okay, and my next work in progress is another scrap blanket project that I'm working on, using up those scraps. And this is the Moroccan window square, and it is also a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just a pattern for the square. I've showed you in the other episodes the ones I've done so far. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is my latest one I did, is 5. It will lay flatter once it's blocked. That's the width that I'm gonna do of it, and then now I'm gonna start going putting some more rows on it. So it should be, I believe it's gonna be 5 squares by 5 squares, unless I stop at 5 by 4. It depends on how what the size of it when I get that far on it, and then I'll decide. But more than likely it'll be the 5 by 5 squares. And I'm doing a join as you go method on this, the same as I did on the daisy blanket a few episodes ago. It makes it very convenient and really easy to put them together. It's just that I know some people would say, oh, there's lots of ends that you have to work in because you change colors, you know, every row. And yeah, there would be lots of ends, but what I really try to do, I hate weaving in ends, but what I really try to do is when I'm finished, I don't always weave in at the end of each round. I don't usually do it that often, but when I finish the square, I try to get all the ends weaved in. So all the ends are weaved in on this. Unless I've got one here. But when I attach another square to it, I'll catch it and take care of that. So that makes it not so unbearable to weave in ends. I know some people like to weave in ends, but or think it's therapeutic, but that's one of my least favorite things to do. Okay, so my third work in progress, the only other thing I've been working on this week, is my Donkey Kong. This is a gift from my older son whose birthday is coming up, and he requested it, and he already knows about it, so I can show it. But here's the Donkey Kong, is what he's going to look like. It's turning out rather large. I've got both of his feet done. See? And I have his legs. They're not stuffed yet, but he's going to be a very muscular monkey. I mean ape. But anyway, that's my progress on it. I'm going to be working more, quite to get more done on this, and also the patchwork blanket, especially because these two actually have kind of deadlines to finish, you know, because of the baby being born and my son's birthday. Okay, and let's see, I did actually get an acquisition this week. I made an order to Amazon for some other items, but I threw this in my cart because I wanted to try. It's a set of these ergonomic crochet hooks. It's the ones that are kind of spongy, you know, they're kind of soft. And one of the reasons I do have some, I really like the clover tulip, I think, hooks, yeah. But I wanted to try out this brand. The set was very reasonable for that many hooks. It was, I believe, $13.99, and if you have Amazon Prime, then the shipping would be free. And I got it in like 2 days, I think. Yeah, I ordered it Tuesday, and I got it today, which is Thursday. Another reason I wanted to get this is because the smallest hook is a B hook. There's 9 hooks, and you get a B. These are American term hooks. You get a B, a C, a D, an E, an F, G, H, I, and J, and you also get the one. It's not even a letter. It's called a size 7, and it's between a G and an H. And millimeter sizes, you have 2.25, 2.75, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75. You know, there's a whole bunch of sizes. So a 4, a 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6 millimeters. And so I'm going to try these out. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm going to try them out and see how I like them. I think they're going to work out well. Since I've been doing more of the little ornaments and the little amigurumi type projects, a lot of them call for very small hooks because that way you don't see the stuffing through the holes of your work. And this one starts with a size B hook, and I have yes, I have a B, a C, and a D. But it's like, I can't remember if it's a boy hook or if it's Susan Bates. I don't remember, but it's just the hard aluminum hooks, which are fine if you're going to do a short project. But this past fall, I took a fall and broke my hand, my left hand, and I'm left-handed. Oh, and I had to have surgery. I broke a couple of the bones here in the hand, and so I had to have surgery and put pins in and physical therapy, and I'm doing pretty well, except that long use of my hand gets tired of my grip, you know, still. Even writing, you know, I can write, but if I write a very large amount, you know, my hand gets, my grip gets tired and gives me trouble. So I want to check these out, or try to get all my hooks over to these softer grip handles, and I think that will help me out. And I got these off of Amazon, and the company is called Festival Hands, and they're labeled with the millimeter sizes. But on the front, there's a little chart here that tells you what the equivalent of the letter size for the American terms as well. And as you've seen other people talk about hook sizes on other videos, sometimes the millimeter size and the letters of the American equivalent, I guess you'd say, of the terms for it, sometimes the millimeter size is a little bit off, you know, what it says. So this way it has both of them on there. Okay, so that was my acquisition. And then I have a couple of tips. They're pretty simple, but I thought, well, maybe somebody might have not heard of it before, and it might benefit somebody. So for one thing, here in my craft room, I have this recliner here. That's where I do most of my creating and my crocheting and stuff. And of course, we also have a TV in this room also. And so I got this armchair organizer, and I believe I got it off of Amazon. And it's got, you know, 6 pockets, 3 on this side, 3 on this side. Whoop. And then there's also a couple of slots for, you know, flat objects. And I originally got it for like my remotes and my like my phone charger and stuff like that, because I have a dear sweet little fur baby that likes to sit in my lap. Every time I sit down, he's got to be right there with me. And so I got this organizer thinking, well, we would keep the remotes there and, you know, stuff like that. Well, I have also discovered that these pockets are wonderful to put scissors, your little snips, you know, my little darning needle organizer. I have a few crochet hooks in there. This is what I use use my darning needles. In fact, I love this brand. It's a Clover Chibi, I guess you'd say. I got them at Joann's, and I love these hooks. They have a little angle to the bottom of the point, and it just works really well. And anyway, a pen, pencil, different things. That way, I have my little command control center, I guess you'd say, right there on my armchair. But I've just found it beneficial to have it because I can put crochet things in there as well, especially like my little pair of scissors and things like that. So that's a tip. I'm sure a lot of people probably are already doing that, but I just wanted to throw it out there. And another thing is for people that have yarn ball winders to wind your yarn into cakes. I've discovered, and I'm sure a lot of people are already doing this, but before you take the cake off of the cone, the cone, I guess, when you wind it, to roll up the label of the yarn and stick it right on top of the cone, and then when you pull the yarn cake up, the label will slide right in the center of the yarn cake. And so that way you run out, then you'll remember, oh yes, this was, I love this yarn. In fact, what is this? See, this is a sparkle. I used it from, I don't know if you can see the sparkles, but I used it for the frozen blanket that I did, the corner to corner, by the way. But anyway, and so I have stuck in here that this was an I love this yarn. I've discovered I like to have a lot of white yarn on hand because I use white in a lot of my base colors. And so an example of keeping this label is the fact that I use different brands of white yarn, and if you hold them up together, you can definitely see sometimes it's like, okay, it's white, but if you hold it up against this white, it's a different white than what this white is, and you want to make sure you're using the same throughout your project. And so, you know, because you have Red Heart Soft White, and you have Red Heart Simply Saver White, and you have you know, Caron Simply Soft, which usually you can tell between those. But anyway, if it's eggshell or ecru or whatever you're using, it's just the way that I remember what yarn I used if I have to get some more. And the only other tip really I have is the fact that, still talking about this, is I used to always pull my yarn out from the center, which works great. You know, it does work great, except if you have a label in there and you pull it out, the label ends up getting pulled out as well, and it makes a mess, or you lose the label or whatever. Well, I saw somebody, I believe it was Kay Jones of the Bakery Bear podcast that I like to watch, and she was unraveling her cakes from the outside. And I thought, oh, well, I've never thought about doing it that way. And I thought, because, you know, you're pulling it from the center, and as you use up the cake, it starts getting, you know, it collapses, the middle part, you know. And so what I was doing in the past is I would use it, but then when I would have this yarn left over, then I would have to rewrap it, you know, to put it and make another yarn cake out of it with, you know, to make it smaller. And so this kind of eliminates a step, because you're getting your yarn from the outside, and when you're done, you can always tuck it underneath, just like you did in the beginning when you first made the yarn. But the middle, your yarn label stays there, and your middle stays firm, you know, and so that way you don't have to rewind it and make it renew your yarn cake or whatever, if you don't use the whole cake up, in other words. So anyway, simple little tip, I guess you'd say, but somebody might benefit from it, so I thought I'd just throw it out there. Okay, so that's about it for my episode, except that I do have 2 shout-outs that I wanted to discuss today. They're both relatively new YouTubers, just like me, And the first one is No Catchy Name Crochets is her channel, and I believe her name is Ella. And she does lots of different types of projects. She likes to do, you know, kind of quick projects, because what she's doing right now is, I believe she's preparing for a craft fair or something like that. And so she's doing like different types of projects, so a very big variety of things that she's showing. And so I've really been enjoying looking at her projects and watching and to see what she's doing. And so that's one of my shout outs. And then my other shout out is to Megan. I believe her name is Megan, and her channel is called Toe Creations, T-O-E, like your toe. But she explains that the T-O-E is the first letters of the initials, you know, of her children, and so that's why she came up with that name, which I thought was really cute. But she's also a person that makes different projects for a craft table somewhere. I think maybe at a farmer's market or something where she sells items. And anyway, so she shows a variety of different projects. And she does crochet, but she also had been, just recently, she's been getting into teaching herself how to knit. And so she's got some knitting projects as well. But anyway, so check these girls out. I think that they're doing a great job on their videos, and so go ahead and go see what they're doing and show them a little love, and go watch their channels. And that's about all. Please come back and come back next week and see what I've done, and see if I've finished up these projects that I'm doing right now, and what other little palette cleansers I add to the mix for next week for my finished objects. Thank you so much for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you like my videos, so you can keep track of what I'm doing. So I guess that's it for the day. So have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.